Hey y'all, welcome back to Still Chosen, the Bold Believer podcast, where we have real conversations about faith, life, healing, growth, and becoming who God has called us to be. I'm your host, Terra, and over the past 2 episodes, we have talked about silence and growth. But today, I want to talk about becoming. Because growth, that's great, but growth should produce transformation. Now let's get into it. Now, you may ask yourself, what version of yourself are you outgrowing? Y'all, if I'm honest, God has been showing me a lot of things about myself. Not sinful things necessarily, but just things I've outgrown. I have outgrown the version of me that thought I had to be perfect. I've outgrown the version of me that thought everyone had to understand my heart. The version of me that felt responsible for making everybody around me comfortable. I've outgrown the version of me that over-explained, overextended, overcompensated, overperformed. And I have learned that peace often begins where people-pleasing ends. Some people are going to misunderstand you. So what? Some people are going to believe what they want to believe. Let them. And you cannot spend your life trying to manage everybody else's perception of you. So I have a question for you. What is God asking you to release? Because God has been asking me to release the need to be understood. Release the need to feel that I have to prove myself. To release rejection, release judgment, confusion, chaos. He's telling me to release it all. And I'm going to be real with y'all. This has really shown up here lately in my life. There's a situation with someone that's very close to me who we haven't even spoken to in months. And that's not normal for us. We would talk almost every day. And I used to be the one who would call, check in, try to fix things, try to understand what went wrong, what's really going on. But now, instead of communication, there are things being said indirectly. And I feel like they're aimed at me. And, if I'm honest, every part of me wants to reach out, ask questions, get clarity, fix things. But God has been teaching me something to do differently. He has been teaching me that I don't need to know everything. I don't need to chase understanding. I don't need to fix every broken connection. Sometimes releasing means letting go of the need for answers. Letting go of the need to control the outcome. Letting go of the need to make things right in my own strength. And I'm trusting God that He sees, He knows, and He's going to handle what I cannot. Isaiah 43:18-19 says, "Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing." The problem is sometimes we're asking God for something new while holding tightly to things He told us to release. We're carrying old wounds into new seasons, old fears into new opportunities, old expectations into new relationships. God is saying, let it go. Not because it didn't matter, but because where He's trying to take you, where He's trying to take me, it requires something different. So, what has God called you into? Now, God is calling me into peace, y'all. Not temporary peace. He's calling me into His peace. The structure, purpose, the intentionality behind it. He's calling me to His family, to presence, to be in His presence, and to have His joy. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Transformation starts in the mind. Before your life changes, before your circumstances changes, before your environment changes, your mind first has to change. So, what does becoming look like? Becoming isn't a destination, y'all. It is a journey. It's not something that you just wake up one day and all of a sudden, suddenly you have arrived. It is choosing growth repeatedly. It's noticing that your responses have changed. Your boundaries have changed. Your confidence has changed. Your confidence has changed. And your faith, oh yeah, that's changed too. The things that used to break you don't break you the same anymore. The things that used to distract you don't distract you the same way anymore. The things that used to define you no longer define you. Philippians 1:6 says, He who began a good work in you will carry it out to completion. God isn't finished. Not with me, not with you, not with any of us. And as we close out this series, I want you to remember something. Sometimes God uses a season of silence to prepare us for a season of growth. And sometimes He uses a season of growth to prepare us for becoming. You are not who you used to be, and you are not yet who you're going to become. But if you stay surrendered to God, He will continue the work He started in you. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Still Chosen, the Vocal Believer podcast. If this episode encouraged you, challenged you, or reminded you of who God is calling you to become, share it with someone who may need to hear this message. Again, send me your testimonies, prayer requests, and your stories to stillchosenpodcast@gmail.com. And remember, you're not alone. You are still becoming, and you are still chosen. Bye for now.